of them have their different strengths. Working for the Association of Manufacturers, I had a distinct audience and constituency and issues to pursue. We had very good relations and interactions with government, and KIM really significantly got a lot of the requests it's made because of those interactions. Being a policymaker means that you're also looking at beyond the needs of one sector. You're balancing the needs of consumers, balancing the needs of retailers, balancing the needs of manufacturers, and it gives you a much broader perspective. So you make different, all policy making is different compromises and deciding which is the best on the balance of probabilities, which works and has the largest number of winners. Coming to this position of policy making with the experience of industry has been extremely beneficial and enriching for me, because then I have insights that people who might not have had that experience don't. But I'm now able to utilize the tools that are available within government to be able to answer the needs of different constituencies. So it's been a great experience. I am extremely honored to have had the privilege to serve. Manufacturing has never been abandoned. You guys in the media may say so, but it has never been abandoned. The pillars around it were around there was a target of expanding manufacturing to 15% of GDP. There was a target of increasing investment fivefold to 5 billion. There was a target on improving on our cost of doing, cost and position on the doing business indicators. From where I sit, whereas GDP contribution is measured 15%, which is going to be a very tall order, but in terms of output expansion, which is the metric we chose to focus on, expansion of manufacturing output, we have seen that. The other pillar was on expansion of industrial infrastructure, the special economic zones and the EPZs. For instance, we have gazetted public SEZs, in the process of gazetting more private SEZs, which is the introductions of industrial infrastructure that will support greater production. These things take time, so I know I sound like it's work in progress, but depending on the budgetary availability, but those are things that will not stall any incoming government who want to see and expand the industrial infrastructure. Because it's very hard to reject that. Services are growing much faster. The metric to look at is the number of enterprises and the quantum output. We've been fortunate to see new investors. Somebody like Mars intimates that set up in Kenya at the beginning of COVID, just 2020, now is employing more than 3,000 people. Actually, I think it's 5,000 by the end of this year, and by next year, almost 7,000 people. That's a brand new investment. We have continued to attract other, when I have to just pull out the names for you, but people who've actually just set up here to manufacture during this period. On the matter of leather, we have completed the completion of the livestock, KLDC, completed development of Kenanie leather park, which is, and even set up some go-downs within it. And that's an area that we will continue to see more growth in. Pharmaceuticals, we have new firms that have set up developing and manufacturing pharmaceuticals right here in Kenya, both at the EPZs with Square Pharmaceuticals, for instance, that have received the clearances from the Pharmacy and Poisons Board to start producing. People like Vital in Kilifi have even expanded their products, including making COVID related inputs, including syringes, and even exporting out of Kenya the same products that were not producing before. On the other side, you've seen us complete the revitalization of Rivertex. Now, what we haven't had is a lot of consumptions of local cotton because we don't produce enough. So the factory is actually processing a lot of imported cotton from the region, or working out of imported inputs like polyester for the cloths that they make. Traditionally, we have sold a fairly limited export basket, and to only a few countries, mostly the traditional North, Europe, Britain. With AGOA, we went into America. In addition, we've also used our traditional market of the East African community and the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. So it was really critical to begin to look at, and we only sell a limited number of goods in significant quantities, mostly tea, coffee, horticulture, and apparel. So it was important to begin to look at how we can diversify our markets. And that export development strategy identified different products for different regions and how to access them. So it's a twin-pronged, both products and markets. One of the areas we really are focusing on as Kenya is expanding our presence in the Far East, China, Japan, and the Middle East, and all these other places that we don't traditionally sell a lot to. And the new products like avocados. In the context of China, we were very keen on expanding the sales of avocados. Our first entry into that market with avocados was frozen avocados, but the capacity to freeze is not available to many players. So it was also important that we address the matters of fresh avocados. But to do that, we also needed to overcome the hurdles on technical barriers and sanitary and phytosanitary conditions, because when you're handling food, the export of food is very, very very well and rigidly regulated. So one of the exciting things is that Kenya has now managed to persuade the Chinese authorities. Our CAFEs, working with the customs authorities in China, has cleared the export of fresh avocados. 10 years ago, Kenya was not on the map in terms of avocado production. Right now, we're the 5th largest producer globally. Quite a bit of what is being sold, fresh avocados, goes to Europe, Germany, the UK, the Netherlands, and many of these other markets. So I'm excited by the production of avocados, and therefore, as the 5th largest producer in the world, we're now seeing additional exports of the same, and I think the numbers that we have is increasingly showing us additional numbers. What we need to make sure we do as a country is ensure we're selling quality product. We're selling product because of the demand for Kenyan avocado. We've had instances where people are selling, either unripe crop, which is very harmful for the market. So this is a product that has lots of promise. It can be sold fresh, it can be sold frozen, but we also have possibilities of value addition. Some people are already extracting oil out of avocado and processing it right here in Kenya, and exporting it. So it's a product of promise. There are many challenges around value addition, but I'm also glad that we have made quite a bit of progress. The biggest challenge is what I would say tariff escalation. When you sell a product for instance, in raw form, you may be able to get it at zero duty into many markets. Once you sell it processed, then additional duties emerge. If it is vegetables, when you sell them fresh, it may be 5%. But when you sell them already processed, packed in bottles, like processed beans or gherkins or cucumbers, then you get into the range of 18% duty. That's what I call tariff escalation. So it attracts people to sell raw products rather than value added. Now, in the context of processed vegetables, for instance, we were able to secure reduced tariffs through the economic partnership agreement in the context of the European Union, for instance, and in the context of Britain. So tariff escalation becomes an issue. 2, capacity to do it. A lot of our farmers cannot do the value addition, if you say processed vegetables. So there are only a few processors that can put in the plant. So we've had some people put in plants, either at the EPZs or outside. Public service is a great honor. I think anybody, I don't know anybody who would not want to continue in public service, but it's an honor, but it's a decision that is made by others besides ourselves. But it's a great dream, it's a great honor, and I've been extremely privileged. Yeah.
Thanks a lot for the time.
Thank you.
We have our short